G'day and welcome to Mark and Sam After Work. Today I just want to go through a quick update with everyone, a couple of things, just a quick run through this rifle that we were shooting yesterday, which is the 300 Norma out to just over 2 miles. The other thing is just to touch base with people, the people who are paying attention, or when they do get the reports that let people know there has been large fires around our neck of the woods, not in our neck of the woods, 60 to 80 kilometres away, so nice and safe for us here, but over a little bit closer to the coast where there's a lot of people living amongst the large trees side of things, and areas that are very susceptible or in great risk with bushfires. Well, they had some pretty nasty bushfires, so it has been pretty nasty over there. It's hopefully now, it's really, I think there's some fires still going, but we're about to have rain come through, so hopefully that settles it down. But somewhere between 80 and 100 houses lost, so fairly serious stuff. No people hurt, or other than fairly minor injuries, but no people killed or any of that sort of stuff. But pretty nasty over there. But just want to let you know that we're fine over here. It has been very difficult to try and get out for a shoot. Both the paddocks and what they were like, to the wind and things that we've had over here, which is part of what made those fires quite as serious as they were. We've had a really high wind year, it simply has been. You've seen in our videos, still a little bit that, but it had backed off enough for us to go and give it a crack. Definitely not ideal testing conditions to try and test bullets and try and do real comparisons, although you get an idea. The wind has a bit of control on things, and the two we're actually testing, which I mentioned in that video, were the 250 grain Hornady ATIP and the 245 grain Berger projectile. So both of those are very good bullets. The ballistic coefficients are about accurate with what they're putting on there, and certainly the Hornady is quite a bit more efficient in the way of its ballistic coefficient, so it's using less with the same amount of powder, roughly the same speed. We're getting the Hornady's well in front in the way of efficiency side of things. I feel it might be a tiny bit less consistent, but cool. Really the wrong sort of day to test that on. Both very, very good. We hit with the Berger. I'd have to say there's a little bit of luck involved with that. That was only the third shot with those Bergers. And we'd actually shot all of those rounds at the beginning of that day. I had different powder loads and a few different things I was testing, and I had fired a couple of each of them to get speeds, and then went back to and shot the groups type thing. So we had actually fired 2 of those, but where we're just getting speeds prior to that and then on. And so like in third shot hit from dialing up like that, there's a bit of luck involved with that. And you saw I didn't manage to hit the plate with the next 2, but got very close. So very, very good, very, very happy. Would like to get some nicer conditions to test a little more. The other thing you might notice there is there's a bit of flattening, or there's a bit of area we're shooting into. What you can't see is every, and I haven't done the measurement on it probably every 6 to 8 meters, there's a windrow of that same, of where the header's been through and left chaff. Those windrows, which are hard to tell on any image there, but are around about 1 metre to 1.5 metres wide, and 0.5 metre high. So we've got a very small place to be able to shoot into, and the moment it goes a little bit too high or a little bit over, because we're shooting across the windrows, it doesn't need much of an elevation change and the bullets disappear. So the rest of the stubble, we actually flattened it down, dragged around a piece of steel behind our ute to do that. The farmer's off doing other bits and pieces, so they aren't going to be doing more to that paddock until they're seeding. So we've cleared a little space and made it work, but still pretty tricky. And the rounds went really well to do what they did. So that's that. Just to explain a little bit for people who don't know what they're looking at, it is a custom built rifle that we built. It's a Barnard action. It's a Maddco barrel. It's one of our muzzle brakes. It's our bipod system. The parts of the chassis were made out of, when I say custom made, they were parts out of not used parts out of parts bins over it from Gareth at GCPD, rifle manufacturer. So I got some of these parts, modified them, welded them, machined them, all bits and pieces to be able to put the Barnard PL action or Lapua bolt face action into it. and working really well. It's a full Gareth buttstock, only a little bit of modifying to make it work like I wanted it to, but really working nicely. Barnard 60 MOA rail, which you get from, they make those. And then I've got the Nightforce ATACR 7x35 scope on it. For those who don't know, the peculiar piece up the front here is one custom piece. This little bracket here is my own system I've designed and built to stop the Charlie from rotating, which is the Charlie Tarac. The Charlie Tarac is this piece on the front, an elevation adder. So what it means is that it, just like dialing up your scope, which gives you elevation, this is a bit that you can bolt on the front, which is called a prism, but it's a little periscope. It has a mirror laying that way and another mirror pointing the other way laying on top. So two mirrors. When the light comes in, or your view comes in, bounces off that top one, ricochets down and goes then through your scope. The lower mirror in those two is slightly adjustable. What that causes is you can actually change the elevation that you're sighting to. The same as when you dial up this, that changes your elevation you're sighting to. That does it in a set lump. Now I adjust this. This one can go up to 400 minutes of elevation and back to 0 minutes of elevation. I've adjusted it for this shoot and for what I'm doing right now to 200 minutes. So with the scope on 0, everything's zeroed at 100 yards. The moment I bolt that on the front of it, I'm at 100 minutes of elevation. At 200 minutes of elevation is what I've got that set at, 200 minutes. So 200 minutes, and then I went from, with those bullets, which showed for a very similar speed, went from the 258, so 200 here, 58 there, up to 273 with those bullets. So that's the difference in the ballistic coefficient between those bullets, about what it should be. Like I said, both really good, shot really well, really happy with it. So hopefully, well, maybe the wind will settle down. It is a bit of a year like that. Still got out there, got on steel, good solid dent in the plate, by the way. That was a nice heavy hit for a 245 grain bullet out at just under 2.2 miles. Anyway, listen, this was just a touch base to let people know what happened with the shoot. A quick run over the rifle side of things, but really to let people know that the fires, we've had fires, we've had a COVID outbreak, that sort of stuff, all really us out here, 100 k's east of Perth, are not affected by any of it. We recently had a fire not too far away, heading the other direction, and our property and our immediate place is pretty good. Not too many trees around this neck of the woods, and our property, very low on that sort of stuff. So we're pretty safe on that neck of the woods, but certainly for the people who are in those forested areas, especially with trees around houses and that sort of stuff, really serious time for those guys. So lots of exhausted fireys been fighting it for most of the week. Water bombers, all sorts of stuff, and they're helping them. Hopefully we get a decent rain today to settle it down, but for us, we're safe, we're good, we're out of all of it. So we'll keep on doing what we're doing, but all the best for all the people that are in those situations, and hopefully things get sorted soon. But anyway, guys, thank you very much for checking in on us, and we'll catch you next time.